Okay, we are live here on Twitch, and let me just go ahead and jump over to YouTube real quick, make sure we are live over there. It appears we are. Very nice, very nice. Okay, auto start is enabled. Auto start is enabled. Very cool and very neat. What? Okay, why does Twitch say I'm offline? Can we... Hello? Are we live on? We are live. Okay, good. Little bit panicky. All right. Let me go ahead and get the live tweet here. So, yes, the beginnings of Pixel Profiles are very chaotic because I don't do a starting soon screen for them. Just because I am weird. But hello, everybody. Welcome to Pixel Profiles. I am ManBearZac, and today I am joined by OG Medusa Gaming on Twitter, and the I know this Scary Movie Social Club on Spotify. I remembered. Here on Pixel Profiles, I like to conversation. I like to talk with people, content creators from all over the content creator sphere, whether that be TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, here on Twitch as well. I want to find out what's the common thread, what brings everybody to content creation. And in the month of October, I thought, what a better time to interview a horror streamer, OG Medusa. Yes, exactly. So, Medusa, welcome to Pixel Profiles. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. Well, first, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I am absolutely excited to be here. I'm doing pretty well. October is kind of my busy season as a horror content creator.
What?
So, yeah, the last week I've just been slammed, but it's going really well, and I can't wait for October 31st, the big day.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna be dressing up?
Of course. The question is how many outfits are going to make it this year.
Oh, are you gonna be cycling through?
So I love Mothman, like special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of feeling maybe a Mothman, maybe a Barbie moment, but yeah, that's a surprise.
So I gotta ask.
Remains to be seen.
I gotta ask with Mothman, are you from West Virginia?
No, I am actually from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, born and raised in Savannah specifically. I live in Florida now, and I think just being from the South, I love the thread of like folklore and hoodoo and cryptids.
Oh yeah.
It's rampant in the South, and it's really fun.
I grew up in Appalachia. I am very familiar with the cryptids and everything like that. I grew up in North Carolina, and I also live in Florida. So let's go.
You know what's funny is I actually lived in Raleigh for several years.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're just making the rounds. Yeah.
Sorry to hear about Raleigh though. That's oof.
Yeah, I know. That's why I left.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But no offense to any potential Raleigh viewers, but come on, if you live there, you know what we're talking about.
You get it.
You understand. All right. So, what I ask everybody this, and people that are familiar with the segment, they're probably getting tired of hearing it, but honestly, it's the whole point of it. What got you into content creation? What brought you into the live streaming and podcasting sphere?
That is a very okay, so that's a great question, but it's kind of a complicated question.
I got time. I'll get comfy.
Okay, perfect. So I can say from the get-go, I am a nerd through and through. Like, I've always loved to read. I played Zelda and Hamtaro and all of those games on my Game Boy when I was little. I was very poor growing up, so I didn't really have access to consoles and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still there was a thread of geekery there. Um, as an adult, honestly, my whole life was working and education, and I was married, and my husband at the time said, why don't you try streaming? You just started playing video games, because at the time I had found BioShock and Ark. And he was like, You have so much fun. You're so good at it. People want to hear what you have to say." I was like, "Trust me, no, no one wants to hear what I have to say." But I didn't know anyone at the time because we had just moved to North Carolina. I didn't really have any friends up there. And I said, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Jump off the ledge and see what happens. So I actually started streaming on Mixer. And
F's in the chat for Mixer.
oh my God, I miss it every day.
I
Yeah.
loved the layout of Mixer. Honestly, like it was so clean.
It was so nice. The community was so different. They were generally very kind. The system to reward your viewers and the pay system for creators was amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, RIPs in the chat for the homies. Oh, speaking of the chat, hi Mola. um anyway, so I was on Mixer for quite a while, and Mixer broke up with me through Twitter. That's, when they told us they were closing down.
It's almost as bad as the text.
Yeah, it's honestly, it might be worse, but
yeah.
So yeah, I came over to Twitch. I've been here ever since, and I think I started content creation as a way of making connections and just having people to talk to. But once I actually started establishing a community, I got feedback from people about how I was touching their life, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
It made me kind of realize that like I can do what I love to do and put good out into the world, and I never wanted to stop. So here we are.
Yeah. Honestly, like that feeling, when you get that random DM at like 3 a.m, something like that, and then somebody's just like starts like saying, "Hey, look, you don't know me," or something like that, or "I've been lurking in your channel for however long it's been," and they're like, "I just want you to know you've really helped me," and like that message or that little bit of appreciation,
Yeah.
that one, it doesn't even have to be a bunch of them, just that one person saying, "Hey, you've impacted my life for the better." I could have 0 viewers for like 6 months, but that one message will make me want to keep streaming. Like
Such a high.
it
Yeah.
is. And like the feel that the appreciation goes so far. And just a little word of advice for everybody watching. That's not just in the streaming sphere. If you've got somebody that you actually really appreciate them being in your life, let them know. Let them
Yeah.
know. It'll make them all warm and fuzzy on the inside, almost as fuzzy as I am on the outside. Almost. Anyway, so I heard you mention a certain game, a certain dinosaur based game.
Yes.
Ark, huh?
Yeah, the bane of my existence and love of my life, I think.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I actually started playing really actually right before it came out, or right as it came out. And I only played official servers for a year straight. Now, keep in mind, this was before they upped the levels in game to 2 times everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was original game, original settings, official servers.
Right.
I don't know why I did that. It was stupid. Uh, the torture I put myself through.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand the pain. Yep. I have. Let me just get this pulled up real quick. Let me pull up my Steam. How many hours do I have in Ark? Uh, only about 2100. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, I
It's
actually
fine.
started on Xbox, and I'm trying to remember. I think about 100 real days on Xbox.
God, the
Yeah.
console servers were even worse about that. About
Oh, I
wow.
know.
Whew.
Y-
I got
yes.
a buddy named Royce. Royce plays on Twitch, and he's wanting me to get back into Ark with him, and I'm like, I don't know if I can like mentally maintain playing Ark anymore. Like that's a
Yeah.
young man's game. I'm past my prime.
It's a slog. I will say if you find the right like cluster, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Go unofficial, go boosted, go casual. You know what I mean? Like no
Oh
one
yeah.
needs to make it a job.
Yeah. Royce actually runs his own clusters, so it's actually like I would be in good company. They're all
Oh,
good people.
okay.
Like I'm friends with everybody I would be playing with. Oh, but Ark. I'd
Yeah.
play it. I'd play nothing but Ark for like 6 months straight, and then I would never want to look at Ark again.
Honestly, I feel that. Well, have you tried Ascended?
I have, yeah. And my computer does not like it. I need a new. I
Oh,
need
okay.
a better graphics card if I'm gonna be continually or getting back into playing it. Just because, yeah, it's a good
No,
graphics card.
yeah.
It's basically the equivalent of a 1080 Ti. It's a RX 5700. It's a good graphics card, but
Okay.
it's definitely past its prime. Yeah.
I actually just upgraded to the 3070.
Mm.
I am like walking on the moon. I put it off for so long
Yep.
and I finally made the jump and it's a different world.
Oh, I didn't give this disclaimer real quick. I usually do. It's something I completely forgot about. Anybody in the chats, I apologize if we don't mention anything or if I don't say anything to chat. Typically, I like to keep this as more of a conversational setting between the two of us. If you would like to add a question to the list of the post-interview Q&A, go ahead and if you're on YouTube, jump on over to Twitch. I have a single channel point redemption to submit a question for the post-interview question time. If you have a burning question that you're like, I want this answered right now, go ahead and leave it in a donation message. There's no minimum donation amount for us to actually read the question and answer it right then and there. But if you want it done right then and there, donation. If you want the other way, do the channel point redemption. And any donations that come in during the Pixel Profiles interview, I will be splitting 50-50 with Medusa. So that's a little bonus that I didn't tell her.
Oh, well, that's cool. Honestly, I like that system though. Being able to submit questions that way, that's really cool.
Yeah, that way they don't get lost in like the chat, because I interviewed Pine FM a little while ago, and his community came over and they were like, ask Pine about this, ask Pine about that, and it was a great interview. It was fun, but his community's crazy. As a member of his community, we are crazy people. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of why I chose you for this month specifically.
Okay.
What made you kind of settle in on the horror genre in general?
Honestly, I think part of it was chance.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised extremely religious, which, I still am a very spiritual person, but the religious that I was raised in was more cult-like atmosphere. And so things were, well, my whole life was restricted, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So as I grew up, I started, experiencing more, shall we say, watching
Right.
new movies, playing new games, that kind of thing. And I found this strange kinship in horror. I know it sounds strange, especially, because I love cozy and I love adventure and I love all of those things too. But the horror community has some of the best people you'll meet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, we're all a little fucky, so let's just be fucky together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And have you run into anybody that's like, hey, I really like your content. I just, I'm not the biggest fan of like horror. Has it? I'll rephrase. Have you ever been kind of on the fence of whether or not you should stick with the horror genre or kind of, branch out?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I actually have members of my community who they don't enjoy horror.
Mm-hmm.
And I do stream, like I mentioned, survival as well. So things like Ark, or 7 Days to Die, or things, that are more survival based. I've
Yeah.
mentioned before, like, I'm scared sometimes to do too much of one thing because I don't want to push people away. And as a content creator, this is something that I'm sure you've learned in your time. A lot of people don't see you as a person, they see you as a channel.
Yep.
So they treat it a little differently, maybe, being in a community. Um you really have to handle parasocial relationships with care. But one person in particular, she I spoke with her one on one and I was like, I know you don't like horror. Do you feel like it pushes people away? Why do you show up anyway? And she said, honestly, I would watch paint dry if you were talking over it. I am here for you and I'm here for your community, and that's what's important to me. And I feel like if you are being honest and putting yourself out there, you're going to attract wonderful people, and
Mm-hmm.
those people will be there no matter what type of game you're playing, which, it doesn't happen for everyone. Some people find a game and they love that game and they build a community on that one game. And good for you. That's incredible. I have ADHD. I can't do that. Can't do it.
Same. That's exactly. And the worst part is when you actually get into a game that you're really enjoying, and you're like, oh, I've been playing this for too long. Oh, I'm gonna be driving people away, and then you just don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
but I
that's the
love to check a
curse.
box. I love to check a box. I love to clear a map.
Mm-hmm.
I love to get through a battle pass. Yes.
Yes. That's my biggest issue with Yu-Gi-Oh right now, or Master Duel right now, is I'm trying to get through the freaking battle pass so I can get the dog. I just want the dog. I don't care. I don't have to get to 100. I just want the dog. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. That's absolutely continue.
No, I was just gonna say on the topic of horror. I think sometimes people hear horror and they're like, "Oh no, oh my god, I'm so scared. It's gonna be so bloody and gory and bad." But the truth is, sometimes horror is just psychological. Sometimes it just makes you question your place in the world, and there's some wonderful pieces of content out there that aren't bloody, they're not gory, they're really nothing more than maybe a little tense. So I feel like if you're wanting to, of course, there might be a little bit of a horror genre for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I was actually trying to play Alien Isolation, and
Oh,
I don't have an issue with like thriller games, or I don't typically go out of my way to play scary games, but the main reason I didn't necessarily like Alien Isolation is because it was so slow.
yeah,
You know, you've got a bunch of like lulls and dead zones where,
right.
you're literally just not doing anything. And so, but there was one, I think it was called Dreadout, the first Dreadout game. Dreadout 2's out now, so I might try playing that. But it was consistently creepy
Hmm.
and spooky. And that's what I liked
Okay.
about it. So, if anybody's looking for more of like a fast pace, sort of not fast pace, but like consistent scary game, Dreadout is good. I like Dreadout. Um, so there was one question. There was a question. Okay, the transition from let me start over again.
Sure.
ADHD go burr. Um, so was the for those of you that don't know, Medusa has a podcast. It's there in chat in the Nightbot command right there over here on Twitch. It is the Scary Movie Social Club. And what made you decide to start moving into the podcast sphere? Was that more of an extension of your content creation on Twitch, or was it something like you wanted a little bit more creative freedom with?
I wanted to do something a little different than just playing a game,
Hmm.
which obviously I love games, so that's great. But I wanted to do something a little different. When I was a child, I had a recorder, like an old 90s handheld tape recorder.
Oh yeah.
And I would record myself reading books because I told my mom I want to donate these to the library so that maybe people who can't read can hear the stories. I am a storyteller from the day that I was born. I'm a shit talker, but I'm also a storyteller. And I love creepy pastas. I love true crime. I love talking about things that I can hyper obsess about and just be excited about and share that excitement with someone who maybe they're excited about it too. So that's why I kind of took the step into trying podcasting. I think I have 6 episodes right now, so it is relatively new, but it's been such a fun time. And my best friend is actually in one of the episodes. She kind of guest starred with me. So I am looking to maybe do interviews with experts in the future and, maybe try some other forms of podcast content.
Hmm.
But it's going really well. I love it.
Awesome. Is there so you mentioned creepypastas. Is there any one that like sticks in your head and then like it just like comes back every now and again? Is there maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily like a favorite, but if you want to consider it like a favorite, is there one that you just know by heart?
Yes, actually, it's funny you asked that. This is a total surprise. I haven't told anyone this, so little bit of a
Pixel Profiles
surprise.
exclusive, baby. Let's go.
My episodes come out every Friday, and the one coming out tonight is on Baraska, which is an incredible, incredible short story by C.K. Walker. It's prolific, it's shocking, it's haunting, and I would definitely recommend, even if you're not into podcasts, go read it. It's readily available online. Definitely know ahead of time. It's shocking. There is violence and so look at the trigger warnings, but God, it's so good. It's so good.
And is there any sort of sneaky peekies you wanna throw our way about it, or is it just a little
Well, I
teaser for
will
tomorrow?
say, my episodes are normally an hour. I feel like that's easily digestible for most people.
Same.
But today, since this is the Halloween episode, it's actually 3 hours long.
Ooh.
Yes, I don't want to give too much of it away. I want people to, enjoy it. Don't have the surprises ruined, but I hope that if you listen, you enjoy it.
Well, I'm definitely going to be listening because I am, even though I do have ADHD, my brain is an absolute sucker for long form content, something that my
Mm.
brain can just like turn off and have going in the background. Oh, I'm absolutely listening to that. Absolutely.
I do that a lot with Critical Role as well. I
Yeah.
love having their adventures on in the background.
Critical Role, Legends of Evantris,
Yeah.
maybe people can add my D&D campaign that I'm starting next Saturday to that list. I don't know. We'll see.
You're a D&D geek. I love it. I did see that you
Maybe.
were playing Baldur's Gate 3, so I was going
Yes.
to ask about it. Yeah.
Feel free. This isn't a one-way interview. If you have questions for me, feel free. Bounce back and forth. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so D&D, I'm
Mm-hmm.
obsessed. It's everything. Um I told myself I will never play Dungeons and Dragons. It is the last bastion of geekdom. It's too far for me. It's just too far. And then I did it and I was obsessed and I can never go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started out playing, of course, as you do, because you got to learn.
Yep.
But then eventually I tried DMing. I haven't had the chance to go back since. I guess I'm a forever DM,
Oh, that's
but I
what you get
love
for being
it.
good at storytelling.
Hey, there you go.
Yep. Uh,
Yeah, it's so much fun, and there's an Old Gods of Appalachia story podcast. Have you heard of it?
I have now. Let me
It's
just
so
write
good.
that down. Old Gods of Apple. Okay, first thing that popped up into the Google search. Love that. All right, add it to the list.
So it's very like folk horror, eldritch abominations, like Lovecraftian mixed with the Appalachian cryptids, backwoods. It's everything that you could want it to be. It's so good. I actually backed them on Kickstarter when they were first coming out, and my goal is to run a campaign for Old Gods, hopefully, in the near future.
Ooh.
But so just putting that out there. Anyone,
Yeah. I mean, hey,
you know,
it's if anybody knows somebody that knows somebody, there you go.
yeah.
But
But yeah, no. Anyway, D&D. You mentioned that you were going to be running an adventure soon.
yeah, it's all from my noggin. I wrote everything from scratch. All of the maps I built in the RPG engine. And I have top-down views of those. All of the characters are custom. It's gonna be a short one. To be fair, it's not gonna be like a years-long
Yeah.
campaign, unless
Yeah.
unless it sparks some creative juices and I come up with more stuff to do with it. But it's going to be my first foray into DMing. So
Congrats. That's
I'm
you're gonna be
excited.
great.
I'm excited for it. I am. Royce is in chat right now. He's actually gonna be one of the players. So we'll see. You know, I haven't given any spoilers, but
Another exclusive, maybe? What?
but since you gave a little bit of a spoiler for your thing tomorrow, it's only fair. It's only fair. See, now I kind of want to. I was gonna wait for the ad break to start, but Royce is subbed, so he'll see it anyway.
It's only fair.
But I will say it is a semi custom magic system. Magic system. But
okay.
the players are going to be able to bring in their characters from, you know, the 5e, 6e, whatever the new thing is. However they want to build their characters is perfectly fine. They're still going to be able to use their normal magic system for their character. But the island that we're going to be playing on has its own kind of sort of magical aspect to it that is going to play a huge role, and it's color coded. So
okay,
yeah, there's going to be particular color puzzles built into the story. So
I'm definitely gonna have to tune in for that, because I am curious now.
I'm curious as to how it's going to be not accepted, but like I don't know how to word it. How people are going to, I don't know, what's the word? I think it starts with an A.
React to it,
maybe
enjoy it.
Yeah, something like that. How people are going to interpret, enjoy it, actualize it in their head, whatever the word is. I don't know, I'm not a linguist.
Honestly though, I think I personally anyway, I love when people come up with custom content. Whenever someone in one of my games wants to try something crazy, I try not to shoot them down. Normally I just say, okay, explain it and let's roll.
Make it make sense.
Right, like make it make sense. Let's roll for it. Let's see what happens. So, you know, taking a chance and creating some custom little things here and there, I think that's awesome. I'm sure they'll love it.
Hope so. So, enough about me. I get it. I'm delightful. But this is about you.
Wonderful.
This is about you.
Thank you.
So we've talked about gaming. We've talked about streaming. We've talked about podcasts. How about a little slice of life stuff?
Sure. Okay.
Who would win? Freddy or Jason?
Ooh, interesting. I'm gonna have to say Freddy. Not that I necessarily like Freddy better.
I have an answer that a lot of people probably won't think about, but please continue.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing is, like, what Jason are we going off of, right? Because there's different interpretations of Jason.
That's true.
If we're going off of like just the original Jason, which I like, the classic, it's gonna be Freddy for sure. Like, hello, Freddy has dream powers and shit. It's not a chance.
See, my answer is they would never interact. They can't interact. Jason doesn't sleep.
Oh, good point. Okay, and not to be like weird, but Jason is also probably a little old to be Freddy's target demographic.
True.
So, just saying.
You're not wrong. I know, Aqua Droplet. I know it's a cop-out answer, but technically they wouldn't interact. Like,
I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
So
So
if you had to pick any horror antagonist, shall we say, if you could only pick one franchise to go with,
oh,
which one would you
easy.
pick?
Easy. The chat knows too. I bet they're gonna tell you before I do. Can
3,
you
2, 1. Aw, Pac-Man. Oh,
what?
apparently it's Pac-Man.
It is not Pac-Man.
There is a
Um,
Pac-Man horror game out there, by the way.
why is this just now on my radar? Oh, there it is.
Ghostface?
Ghostface. I
Understandable.
love Ghostface. Yes. That's daddy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of a streamer named Curvy Llama, and she has a shit your pants Saturday where she drinks and plays scary games on Saturdays, and she has an animated short of you know the Ghostface scene where she's in the kitchen and he's like, "'Cause I want to know who I'm looking at."
Yes.
Yeah, she has an animated short of that with her channel mascots completely redone and everything like that. It's
Amazing.
so good. It's so good. But,
That is so cool. I love that.
yeah,
No,
I've been watching her for 10 years now. Holy crap.
wow. That's a stretch.
These gray hairs in my beard really tell you something, don't they, chat? So, do you have a horror content creator that you look up to?
Yeah, actually, it's funny, I guess, the way it happened. BioShock is my favorite franchise in gaming. It's what made me a gamer. It's what I'm a fangirl for till the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to kind of troll around Mixer and then later Twitch and like just watch people play BioShock. Um, I found Cataly that way. And Cataly, I don't think she streams very much anymore. Now she is more on the game dev side of things.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, she really inspired me to be a better creator because I saw her and I saw the wonderful community she had and the incredible content she made. And I was like, I'm kind of crap. So she really pushed me to do better. And eventually her and I kind of became friends, which was this really cool, like cyclical moment. But honestly, she's incredible. There are so many. It's also probably going to take too long to mention everyone. But there are some really prolific horror creators out there. I would say don't just look for the, 500,000 viewer creators.
Yes.
If you're wanting to see like real community, real creators, which not that they're not real, I think every community is valid and has their own niche to fill. But if you're wanting a fuller experience, maybe just give everyone a shot. All different price points, shall we say.
I agree. And there's a trade-off when a community gets to a certain size. You know, the creator has to kind of transition a little bit from being more community focused to being more creator focused, because you have to entertain all of those people, but
Right.
you can't have an individual relationship with all of those people. And that's I think we talked about it before we went live, but like that parasocial sort of aspect where, you know, the viewers think there's a relationship there, but there really isn't. You know, it can be
Yeah.
a really dangerous balancing act for content creators to have to manage. Do you find that
Yeah.
you kind of run into that situation with any of your viewers? I'm not going to make you name names or anything like that, but do you find it difficult to strike that balance?
Well, thank you for asking, but I'm actually in therapy. Um, no, the truth, well, I am in therapy, but the truth is, I did have a stalking incident a while back, couple years back, and because of that, I had to evaluate a lot of things, and one of them was boundaries. I think over time have gotten better at establishing healthy boundaries. This is not to say that I won't make friends with people online. Um, I mean, I have chosen family that I met online originally, so I think it's totally possible.
Hmm.
But in terms of having a happy, healthy online life, boundaries are good. It's there's nothing to be ashamed of with having healthy boundaries. You can have friends and still be healthy, you know?
Yes. I would say that they're not just good, they're necessary.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
you have to be able to have a wall. Um you can't constantly just be letting everybody's energy in all at once because you're going to get overwhelmed. It is a very, very difficult thing to balance out. And I'm glad that you saw the issue and that you sought out the appropriate help. That is a very mature and very difficult thing for people to actually have the wisdom to do. And I'm very glad you were able to do that.
Thank you. It wasn't easy. I think there's a piece of every single person that makes content that wants to people please and
Hmm.
they want people to love them and they don't want to make people mad. Like, what if they don't show up anymore? What if they don't like me anymore? What if, what if, what if? But at the end of the day, you do need to be mentally healthy, safe, hopefully as happy as you can be, and it requires a bit of a balancing act for sure.
Yeah. And that is actually a fantastic lesson for chat to learn as well. Because that's not just a content creator thing. That's an internet thing. Period. Um just because not only is the internet, kind of a spooky place to begin with, just you can never be sure of who you're actually talking to.
Yeah.
So just, if you're going to be open and wanting to get to know people, that's great. Highly recommend people actually get to know people online because I've met some of my best friends here on Twitch. But you also have to be aware that sometimes you're not going to be talking to who you think you're going to be talking to.
Oh
So
yeah.
just be aware, be safe, and, you know, make sure you know who to get in touch with should somebody you're not supposed to be talking to ends up talking to you. I don't know how else to word that, but like have an escape plan, basically, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I've been
Yeah,
catfished.
I have
Trust me.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was
Online dating is a nightmare.
well, it wasn't even dating really. Okay, so this was when MySpace was big, so you
Oh,
get the time period. Yeah.
can you
I
imagine if live streaming existed in the MySpace era?
Oh, garbage
Oh,
and cringe and filth, and I would have
oh,
loved it.
the emo hair.
I
Oh,
was such an emo kid, you have no idea. A little
bring
scene
back,
queen.
bring back scene hair.
It was never a phase.
It's
Oh my
not a
god.
face, mom.
Yes. So
Ugh.
I got catfished, and It's so ridiculous. You know those like standard pictures of emo boys that you would see online? Like
Yep.
just they're always kind of like a really high up angle, bangs in the face, looking down, one blue eye looking at the camera. Just ridiculous. I got catfished by one of those. Come to find out it was actually a girl from my school who well, I guess I'm not even going to touch that. But she was nice to me for a while, and then I got ghosted, and then I found out that I was catfished and ghosted, so that was like double damage, you know.
Critical hit. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolled a nat 1 on that bitch for
Oof.
sure.
Or did she?
I mean, I am the loveliest little dumpster fire you'll ever see. So I think she missed out on that one, but
I love that. that's great. This reminds the gif of that one little cartoon dumpster that's on fire with the cute little smiley face like flowing down the river.
Yes, floating down the river.
Yes.
I use that one all the time. I think I used it yesterday.
It's so good. Oh, that's so good. Put it on a shirt.
Honestly, that's the next merch move right there.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
That's what 3 merch ideas that have come from Pixel Profiles. There you go.
He's gonna start getting royalties. Y'all.
I need a contract. I need to start having a contract there. Yeah. But honestly, no, a contract would probably be a good idea, especially if I'm going to be actually giving my guests half the donation revenue from the interviews. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if I say it and I don't do it, then there goes my streaming career anyway. So hey, whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Trademark it. There you go. That's all yours. This is a verbally binding contract. Take it. Cheers.
Why, thanks. That was surprisingly easy.
There you go.
Actually.
See? There you go. All right. So that ends my questions. That's the end of my questions. Do you have any questions for me? Any other questions for me?
Are you sure you won't sue me for royalties later?
That's a verbally binding contract. I've already said it, and I can't go back on it now. It's on multiple platforms. Like
it's binding.
Yeah.
No, actually, I did have a question for you. Kind of taking it back just a little bit, going back to D&D, and I'm asking this because I feel you can tell so much about a person through their answer.
Okay. Is it what my character is?
What is your favorite D&D character, Ben? Yes.
Well, so I've only played one character in an actual campaign. I have a few other ones that I kind of work on in the background just for fun. But the one I played was it a bard? No. It was a werebear. I believe it was a fighter, a dwarven werebear fighter.
Interesting. Okay.
It was interesting. Whenever I transformed, I stayed the size of a dwarf. So I was a little bear. But one of my favorite things that happened in that campaign is it was while beyond the Witchlight. A lot of people are familiar with that one, but it was run by my friend Dark Xantz here on Twitch, and we were in the Witchlight Carnival, like towards the beginning of the campaign, and my character goes up to the bugbear, and like in the middle of like the big top during like where we have to do a performance or whatever, and my dwarf wants to wrestle the bugbear,
Oh God. Okay.
So everybody's looking at him like, what? I was like, yeah, let's go. Come on. So we end up wrestling, and I said I wanted to try a performance and like, or athletics check or something like that, and like flip over top of the bugbear, wrap my legs around his neck, and just kind of hang behind him.
Uh-huh.
And I succeeded, and I ended up knocking him out by closing off his windpipe.
Okay. We
So
love creativity. Yes.
he let it happen, and that's when I realized it's like, yeah, I shouldn't have technically been able to do that. So thank you. And then I rolled a nat 20 on the performance check. So
beautiful.
crowd
Literally
loved that.
slay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's what I do. I mean, have you seen my hair? I mean, come on. All right. So, what do you get from what do you read from that character?
Okay, so I feel like a dwarf, like there's gonna be a little bit of grumpy there, but like also a surprising wholesomeness for the people that you care about.
Mm-hmm. That's fairly accurate.
Guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, fairly accurate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I feel like the whole like werebear kind of infers like I'm a protector, but like I'm a unit. Like I'm a beast of a guy. Like I want to protect my own with me, not a weapon. And that's interesting. Play styles obviously are varied, like you can do one thing one day and another and
Mm-hmm.
they're both valid and fun. But my favorite character that I ever played was actually a Circle of the Moon druid. So she specialized in wild shape, and I also loved bears.
Let's go. That's what my druid is. It transforms into a bear in my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough.
Love it. Yeah.
I mean, it's in the name. You got to do it. Anyway, I'm sorry.
To do it. Yeah. Well, so I had this like it's so stupid hearing it out loud, but I had this like combat mechanic that I was in love with that I called Cannon Bear. And so I used a spell to summon bears. But the thing about the spell is that it doesn't say that you have to summon them from the ground. You can summon them from a spot in the air.
Orbital drop bears. Let's go.
I would rain bears from the heavens and then turn into a bear and join the fray. And awesome. I loved it. It was great. Yeah, so you're bear brethren. We're bear bros.
That actually used to be my community name, the ManBearBros. But here's the funny part. I had a little caveat with my transformation.
Uh-huh.
If I killed an enemy, every turn I had to make a concentration check to actually check and see whether or not I would eat the body.
Oh, okay.
If I failed the concentration check, I would eat the corpse, but I would roll a d4 to recover health.
Interesting. Okay.
So that was like a little thrown in sort of curse, I guess, for my character. Kind of a double-edged sword. Like I get health back, but I can't attack anything or move. So
yeah, kind of fun though. I like that. It's a little spicy.
Little cayenne in there.
Yeah.
So I have been making chat wait a very long time. Chat has been so patient. Thank you all so much. First off, before we get into the questions from chat, and there are quite a few, 13 of them to be in fact, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody that has followed during the stream today. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you come back and hang out with me in the future. And everybody that's here that's part of my community, please, 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 please go check out Medusa. Here are all of Medusa's links right there, including
Thank
the
you
Spotify one.
guys.
Go follow the Spotify playlist as well. And coming up first, towards the very beginning of the stream, what's the first game that you can remember streaming from Remulex? I think it was BioShock.
Well, the first game I ever streamed was Ark. That's yeah, I
I
started
had a
my
50-50
community with
shot.
Ark. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Ark as the first one. Okay. I don't think we ever actually covered this. Was your stream always horror themed? And if it wasn't, what theme did you have before then?
So it was not actually. I started just variety, and it was mostly because I just loved playing a variety of games. I didn't really have like a community name, and the chat chose the cult of Medusa for themselves. I literally fought them, but they won. So that is what happened there. Basically, I would have people follow, and the chat would greet them, and one day someone came in and said, oh wow, it's kind of like a cult in here, like everyone's so nice. And for whatever reason, my community just thought, oh, that's hilarious. So whenever people after that would follow, they would be like, hey, welcome to the cult, and like try to freak people out. It turned into this shtick. I was like, please ignore them. It is not a cult. They're trolls. Don't worry about it.
Hashtag not a cult.
So, right. Hashtag not a cult, right? Like, I promise, please, we're not a cult. But over time, they won. They beat me down. I was like, fine, people, I'll give you what you want. So, yeah, my community became the cult of Medusa, and I love them so much. I don't know many circumstances where the chat chooses their own like community identity, so it's so special to me. Over time, as I kind of honed my tastes in content creation, I really just went to survival and horror, which they're both kind of hand in hand anyway. So I think that's probably the biggest influence in my content is my community and them being just a bunch of trolls.
Honestly, if you're not trolling your streamer, do you even really like them? Let's be honest.
Right.
Come on. All right. So what's your proudest gaming moment?
Oh wow. My proudest gaming moment was when I participated in a Paladins tournament on Mixer. I used to love Paladins, and I still like it and support it. I just don't really play it much anymore.
Yeah.
I, as support, place like 136 out of 2,100 people roughly.
Ooh.
And like, obviously, no, I'm not number one, but like, damn, that's a pretty good placement. Like, I'm happy with that.
Number one in our hearts.
Yeah, I'll take it. We take those. We take
exactly. Those. I mean, you might be number one for people that still mentions Mixer.
Honestly, there's not many of us left.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Ooh. Do you have a flex? Do you have a subtle, any sort of personal flexes that you have that came from streaming?
Yeah. I have worked in healthcare for most of my life, and most of the time that I have really loved it. I have a certification from the state of Georgia for an activity director license, and so a lot of my work was in long-term healthcare and nursing homes and things like that. Unfortunately, when you move from the state, every state has different requirements, and basically I would have had to go back to college all over again, and I I wasn't about it.
Yeah.
So I ended up working for a health insurance company, kind of on the other side as like a patient advocate. And it was one of the worst things I've ever had to do. I wanted to bang my head on a rock every single day. Um, I've always told myself I can do anything for a year. I can do anything for a year. I will be okay. I am a survivor. And I did it actually for multiple years, and that was a mistake. I should not have. So, one day I decided this does not make me happy. I will not be doing this anymore. And I started looking for community manager jobs in the game dev market. Um, I took the very scary jump of leaving a stable job for a community manager contract, and every day since has been a better day.
Good.
It's yeah, my flex is that I took the leap and streaming brought me to a community that values game devs, that gave me a career that I'm proud of, that I'm good at, and um honestly, like, I don't think anything ever could take that from me.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad you found something like that. It getting stuck in any field that, just makes you get out of here, fly. Um yeah, any kind of field that just makes you hate waking up in the morning is just soul killing.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you found something that's working for you. I really am.
Thank you. I do try to be realistically positive.
Yeah.
You know, but I have to be realistic about it.
Yeah.
The patients were the worst part.
You know,
Boomers, man. Boomers.
yeah. That's
Angry.
yeah.
Just mad. Just mad for no reason. Just
My voice is my password. Anyway. Okay. I like this question. I like this question a lot. And I think I might integrate it into my round of actual questions that I ask my guests.
okay.
What's some advice that you would give to your younger self for when you first started streaming?
Oh, wow. That people will leave you and it's okay, because there will be people who love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
That's a
is,
hard lesson to learn.
it really is. And there's going to be people that their lives start up. Their lives get going and they just don't have the time. And it's not that they don't want to be there anymore. It's just that they can't sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
When one of my VIPs, and he will remain a VIP because he was literally one of my first followers. He's got his life going. And I will always be grateful to him for being a part of my community for as long as he has. And I will not shame him. I will not, make him feel bad for not coming to the streams anymore. I am so happy that he's got his life going now. And if he comes back and hangs out, cool. If he doesn't, cool. Just, it is what it is. Life happens, and you have to understand that.
Yeah. And it's not personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it is personal, I want to know why it happened. That's all I'm saying. If
Well,
you have
yeah.
beef with me, let me know why you have beef with me. That's all. That's it. That's all I want.
Okay, valid. But that's like a different thing. That's different.
Yeah, having beef with somebody and just like not watching their content anymore are two completely different things.
Yeah. Very, very different.
Ooh, that's interesting. What's your dream video game that you wish you could get published or wish you could make?
Wow. Okay. So
Ooh.
interesting question. I have an answer, but go with me here.
I am on board. My seatbelt is buckled. Let's do it.
Okay. So, have you heard of We Harvest Shadows?
No.
Okay. It hasn't come out yet. It is still, being made. A independent developer, David Wheely, I'm probably butchering his last name, but he is making the game himself, and I am feral for this game. It is a realistic farm sim, but it also has a horror storyline running through it. So you have, kind of scary, kind of supernatural, but then you have this emotional, psychological story within the narrator. And, you also have more physical things to focus on, like running a farm.
Courage the
It
Cowardly Dog?
Oh my god. Yes, that kind of just hit me actually. I mean, kind of, yeah. Uh
I'm here for that.
yeah, I've been able to play the demo, and you can actually go play the demo now on Steam. I'm feral for it. It's everything that I've ever wanted. I think if I could make a game, I would love to expand a game like that. I love BioShock because of the storyline. I love Lara Croft in the new trilogy because of the storyline. That is what hooks me. So I think if I could create such compelling content that people connected with it emotionally, that is what I would be happy with.
I
That's
mean,
art to me.
based on the community that you brought in today, I think you're doing that. I think you're doing just that.
Aw, shucks.
Okay. What's your favorite part about the community that you've cultivated so far? Speaking of your community. Potted
Oh
Mama, thank
man.
you for the sub. Thank you so much.
Oh my. They're gonna get huge heads from this. I don't know. Um, they're kind, they're generous, they are down for anything. I think one of the best things that someone can be is welcoming and inclusive, because we're all gonna be very different, and that's okay. It's not a negative thing. Um, so if I had to choose one, it would probably be that they are very kind.
they're funny too.
Yeah, they're a bunch of gremlins.
It's s'mores, bitch. Just goes, make our heads bigger, daddy.
Oh my god. Yeah, so for some reason Daddy has stuck. I I don't.
I get it sometimes too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how daddy's kind of become a gender neutral term. It's very very interesting way for language to evolve.
Yeah. And my chat will correct, by the way. I've had people come in and say mommy, and chat will correct them, no, that's daddy.
No, how
So-
dare you?
Yeah.
It's like, don't you dare come in here and do that. We don't do that here. Speaking of s'mores, bitch, this is a question for them. What is your favorite part about being a content creator?
Hmm. So it's funny that you mentioned s'mores, because I actually have a handwritten letter from s'mores on my desk next to me right now. Um, I have actually multiple letters that I've received from people, and I think the fact that people allow you into their homes and into their lives It's such an awesome thing to me. Being able to meet people from all over the world that I never would have had the opportunity to meet
Mm-hmm.
blows my mind. That has to be number one. Like, okay, yeah, being able to play games before other people sometimes is cool, but like, it's not really that big of a deal. It's all
Yeah.
about the people, really.
Yeah. And the trust that people have in you to watch you play those games as well.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Here's a good. Yeah, this is a good question. Rim, you got good questions, buddy. What part of streaming caught you off guard that you just didn't see coming?
I don't think I was prepared for the cutthroat atmosphere of some environments with streaming. I'm like good vibes, you know what I mean? Here for a good time and a long time.
Yeah.
I don't really have the competitive mindset that some people have. There's no reason to kick the ladder down for anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was shocked when I started trying to, I guess, be a better content creator, because I would try to maybe, be kind to another creator, or, hey, do you want to play a game? Or just try to get to know people. And if they're a quote unquote larger creator than you, good luck. You're reaching up. You want something from me.
Yeah.
And even people on the same levels, a lot of times, there's this like guarded, secretive, oh no, I can't let other people know about these opportunities or whatever. I don't have time for that. I don't have
Yeah.
the energy for that. I mean, I actually started a content creator database not that long ago to try and get information for as many content creators as I can, because with the game dev that I'm working for, we're setting up a content creator program. I want to get that out there. I have someone right now on Discord that wants to set up a program for independent game devs to pay content creators to play their games. I want to get that out there to people. This whole like secretive, guarded, competitive mindset, I didn't expect it, but I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I've experienced that firsthand as well. You know, with this segment in particular, with Pixel Profiles, reaching out to as many content creators as I have, you're the only one that actually wanted to get something set up for the interviews for October.
Really?
Yeah, none of the other ones got back to me. And that's something I had planned on for this a little back end with when you're trying to set up interviews, especially if you're a content creator on my size, not the biggest, but I've been around for a long time. It's people always expect there to be a quid pro quo,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
like okay, what's this dude doing? Like, I was unbelievably lucky to have known Pine FM beforehand. I've known Pine since he was Pineapples with the Q on Twitch. Like, he we've known each other for a long time through Curvy Llama's community, and honestly, without that connection being there, most likely would not have been able to get him on. Same with Yoka Siri. The only reason that she actually responded and came on was because Pine was on too. Because they're close. So yeah, it's it's very difficult to interview different sizes of content creators. The one I interviewed 2 times before you was one of my viewers. T-Man 4093, I think, is his username. But yeah, he's the smallest, Pine's the biggest, and it's very difficult to get anybody with a higher follower count to want to be on, because they're just expecting that I'm doing it for the followers. And while I genuinely appreciate everybody that has followed the stream today, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I don't do this for follows. I don't do this for adulation or anything like that. I do it because I want to talk to people. And
for sure,
that's it. That's my only motivation, is to talk to people. And thank you for actually doing that. Like, it means a lot. I genuinely appreciate you coming on here. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that your idea, the interview pixel profiles, I always said pixel perfect. I think it's a great idea. I think that you have a great personality, and I'm sorry that happened to you. That's kind of bullshit, to be honest.
I don't hold anybody. I don't hold it against anybody. Like, it's a bit disappointing. For sure, it is a bit disappointing, but like, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, come on. Come on. Just come on the show. It's fine. It's fine. I'll split donations with you. It's fine. All right. Back to it. Another question. We have 5 questions left.
Okay.
Do you have any long-term goals that you feel like are currently within reach in regard to your stream, or thanks to your stream?
To be honest with you, I feel like I have been maybe given more opportunity than my size would normally allow. I've been able to be a partnered content creator for Dreamhack, and it was incredible. I've been able to maybe work with certain game devs that I never would have expected. At the end of the day, I don't want to say I don't have goals, but like, anything that happens, I'm just grateful for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to grow. I would love to continue to make really cool shit and, grow the podcast and grow the channel and make cool things. I think, if anything, I want to be able to lead a creative life and have it fund itself. And if I can do that, I win. Like, I've achieved everything that I want.
I could not agree more with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, that's kind of what we all want, right? Like, we want to be able to sit down and be excited to do our job. And
imagine.
Oh, so good. A boy can dream. Alrighty. Did that one. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. What's something that you see in a horror genre that you wish you could see more of?
Ooh. So, like, more of that in a horror genre, or just in a larger sense?
If I could expand upon the question, I would.
Okay, fair. fair. Wow. I think the horror genre, let me go back a little bit. Okay, so I read a study. I thought it was really interesting. And basically, they were saying that when you are scared, when you are watching something that makes you fearful, or in a fearful situation, you have a baseline of of brain waves, right? So they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
moving a certain way. And when you are not afraid, your brain waves are going to have a different uh found base, excuse me. They're going to, have a different pattern. And like, okay, so that's pretty basic brain information. What about it? Well, people who are traumatized, people who have been in abusive situations, people who get to live in that feeling of being afraid, their brain waves, obviously stay in that fearful formation more often. And that's what your body becomes accustomed to. Your body sees that as your homeostasis for your brain. Now, all of that being said, they the study was looking at why do minority groups traumatize people, abuse people? Why do these people love horror content in greater numbers than maybe mainstream, quote unquote, normal people? And what they found was, and this is obviously not proven, it's just a study, but the brain recognizes the fearful brain wave of, the horror game. And it's like, oh, I know this. I'm comfortable with this. This actually kind of feels like something I'm used to. And so, in my personal opinion, I know that was kind of a big setup. The horror community has so much inclusivity. It really, like, there's so much representation, there's so much acceptance for people who are different, people who maybe are traumatized, maybe people who are abused, people who come from bad situations. Like, it kind of just accepts everyone. And if it's able to make you maybe feel comfortable, I think that's fucking sick. Like, that's so cool to me. um
So this is something that just popped into my head.
yes, by all means.
Um, so does that mean that it's kind of an extension, kind of extrapolating?
Hmm.
So does that mean that you know how there's kind of like a larger percentage of women that are into true crime than men?
Hmm. Hmm.
Would that mean that women are more comfortable with thinking about murder?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, I mean, the truth is women are, oh, this is deep stuff. I didn't know we were going here, but
we both
okay.
we both did psychology. I mean, we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. So women are assaulted on huge numbers in the United States. And not even on that level, just violence against women and is, insane. Um, and when you think about that and you think about what women maybe deal with on a daily basis that a man might not have to, yeah, maybe there's something about true crime where they're like, yeah, okay, I've been in this situation, or I know someone that was in this situation, or I need to look out for this. This makes me feel safe if I think about it. Um, I mean, kind of, going off of that, when I was growing up, my mom sat me down and she was like, okay, if you're coming out of the Walmart, you take your keys and you put them through your fingers and you slash at someone if they come at you. You get your keys out of your bag before you leave the Walmart. You never walk, next to a van. You don't, like, she laid these things out. And it's been really interesting meeting people through streaming because I've had conversations with other women where they said, "Oh yeah, my mom told me that." That's right. Yeah, my mom told me that. But then I'll have conversations maybe with men, and they say, "No, I haven't heard that. My dad never told me that." So
Am I an outlier? I feel like I'm an outlier then, because I was taught that, just because, well, mostly because I think my mom was more paranoid than a bunch of other parents. But
could be.
yeah, it's I got the keys conversation. I got
Yeah.
the go for the groin conversation. The not next to the van.
Go, mom. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and then in middle school, I was taller than my teachers, so I didn't really get the conversation as often.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that can't tell on camera right now, I'm 6'3", and I don't really get fucked with.
Yeah.
Which, yeah,
Fair,
I
fair,
needed a high school football helmet when I was in Little League. So, yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, it's great that you're on our side.
Oh yeah.
So glad.
I mean,
so glad.
I've ENFP. I'm the like quintessential protector mentality. So yeah. I was a bouncer for a little while, and boy howdy, the amount of people that just think they're completely invincible once a little bit of alcohol gets into their system.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Hilarious. Oh goodness. Okay, we have 3 last questions here. Has your community caught you off guard in any way, other than calling you daddy?
Yeah, all the time. I think I cried on stream yesterday. Like,
Chat, what did you do?
No, it was happy tears.
Okay, do it again.
Yeah, no, it was a good thing. I think, and this can be said for content creators probably as well as anyone. It's so hard not to pay attention to the imposter syndrome. There are days where I'm like, I don't know why anyone wants to so much as listen to me. You know what I mean? Much less show up for a stream.
Every day. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the kindness of my community is overwhelming, and there are times where I just feel like I don't deserve it, I think that love multiplies, it never divides. And I think that kindness is something that just keeps going. So I do know that I do deserve it, just like we all deserve it. But yeah, it catches me off guard like a lot. Yeah.
If you ever feel like you don't deserve it, then remember that if you didn't deserve it, it wouldn't be happening.
Valid. That's a great way of putting it, truly.
Yeah. I'm always an advocate for therapy.
Hell yeah.
I did, and I am actively looking for a therapist right now. But in the meantime, I do kind of focus on sort of self-help videos, things like that. They're not the same. Do not equate the two. Anybody anybody listening, anybody watching, if you need to speak to a therapist, do so. Do not equate self-help videos with therapy. They are not the same thing. But I did have to learn that. I did have to accept that just because I don't see something doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody has different eyes. Everybody has different angles. You got to look at it from a different angle. That's how you have to do it. So yeah, it's difficult. Imposter syndrome is very difficult to get through. But I'm glad you have a community that treats you as well as they do.
Yeah, they definitely do. I think I'm very open. I'm very honest with my community. Within reason on,
Right.
obviously. And I want to live my life that way. Like, I had someone ask me, what do you want to be remembered for? And I thought a lot about it, and I want to be remembered that I loved people. I want people to have felt love from me. Period. Like, that's just what I want. So I feel like if I can do the best I can to live that, that's going to attract good things. And obviously these are wonderful people, so it's working out so far. And I'm incredibly grateful. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. Ooh. Have you ever had to use a skill that you learned while streaming outside of the streaming space?
Oh yeah. I actually learned a lot about community management through streaming. Streamers are community managers. We literally handle everything ourselves. Um, a lot of content creation I had to figure out through streaming the hard way. And I do that on a daily basis now. But also like kind of silly things. Like sometimes I say like GG unironically to just non-gamers.
Yep.
And they kind of give me this blank look.
Oh, using gamer talk IRL is insane.
I know. I don't want to be that guy, but I am that guy.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah. I do the exact same thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not alone in that regard. Makes me feel not as derpy. I am still derpy, but not as derpy.
Nah, it could be worse.
And honestly,
worse.
That is basically the exact same question. What part of streaming is spilled into your everyday life? I think just speaking in general. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Medusa.
Also, I'm spoiled.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, I am so used to having dual monitors now.
Yes.
I will never go back to having one. What am I, an animal?
The hurricane came through here and I had to leave my computer behind and I was just using my laptop for a little bit. Oh my god. How did I function with one screen before?
So real.
I couldn't do anything. Like, I could just watch a YouTube video or I could play a game. I could not do both at the same time.
Honor my ADHD with one screen.
Exactly. My buddy Steven, Doc Nesh, he's actually writing all the back-end code for our Minecraft server. He has 8 monitors.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, he's a coder too, so like he's got so much everything going on, like the dream. But ADHD go burr, I say it all the time. But
I wish I could code. I know nothing about it. It's like black magic to me.
We actually have a section in my Discord for coding. If anybody is interested in coding and wants to actually get started, there's a bunch of advanced stuff in there right now because Steven uses it as a repository for the Minecraft server. But we do have some stuff pinned. My Twitter and Instagram links in the description need fixed. Thank you, Coffee. I will fix those after stream. I appreciate it. But we have some resources pinned in that channel. If anybody does want to get started with that, there's the link in chat. Feel free to join. You're more than welcome to.
Very cool.
All right, Medusa, this has been honestly one of my favorite interviews. Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any final questions for me?
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna leave you with one that was given to me. How do you want to be remembered?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Fair.
The thought of being remembered is nice. Like I would you know what? I don't really care what I'm remembered for as long as I'm remembered.
Okay.
I can be remembered for being kind. I can be remembered for being an asshole. I can be remembered as the interview guy. I can be remembered as the guy that does Pokemon Nuzlocks. I genuinely, as long as I made an impression on somebody's life to where I'm remembered, I'm happy.
Cool. I'll take it.
Yeah. All right, Medusa, again, thank you so much for coming on. I genuinely appreciate it. Chat, thank you for being here. That's it. I don't have any. I don't know how to end these. I've done how many of these have I've done a few. But yeah.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And it's been an incredible interview. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And anytime somebody says it's been, I have to do it's been. Millennial brain go burr. All right, chat. Thank you for being here. I've been ManBearZac. That's been that's point thumb the right way. That's been Medusa. This has been Pixel Profiles, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic night, everybody.